Hi, I'm Erin Shanefelder Gonzalez, psychologist in the Pro Clinic with Seattle Children's Hospital Outpatient Psychiatry. And I want to talk today about the window on time, which is a way of understanding children with ADHD and really children in general. So this is an idea that was developed by Dr. Russell Barkley, who's one of the most well-known researchers on ADHD in children. And Dr. Barkley suggests that we all have what we can think of as a window on time. So if you're an adult, you have a pretty broad window on time. And we can think about what's going on right now in front of us, but also what's coming up in the future. We can shift our focus to think about what are my goals? What do I want to happen in the long term? How will this play out if I do X, Y, or Z? And we can also shift ourselves backwards in time. So we can think about what happened the last time I did something like this, or, what are other competing priorities, or what happened last week, last month that might inform my decision. So we can use all of that information when we're making a decision. If you're a child, you have a much more narrow window on time. You can't shift as easily to use all that past and future information, and you really can only hold so much in your attention at one time. And if you're a child with ADHD, that window is much more narrow. So that one thing that's exciting or that's going on in the moment is going to fill the entire window. So for example, if you've got a Lego lover in your household and he or she is playing with Legos, the only thing that's going to be in that window is Legos. They're not watching the clock. They're not thinking about how much time they have left. They're just in the moment. So when you come in and you say, hey, it's almost bedtime, you need to start picking up, you need to go put on your pajamas, you need to get ready, let's get going. You might be in the window for a few seconds, if you're lucky, but when you leave the room, what's back in the window? That's right, Legos. That's the only thing that matters, and it's filling up the whole window. So when 10 minutes have gone by and you go back in and your child is not ready for bed, they're still playing Legos, and you're shocked and frustrated and you say, what happened? I told you needed to start getting ready. Well, again, you might be back in the window, but it wasn't enough to help carry your child through that more boring task of going through the steps of getting ready. So what does this mean? This means we need to learn how to use our child's window effectively to set them up for success and help them get things done. So, for example, we need to first make sure we get into their window to begin with. And that means we need to pause other distractions, definitely screens, video games. We can't compete with things like that for space in the window. We need to maybe get down on their level, make sure we have their attention. Or we need to be fun and exciting, in some way engage them in a way that is going to hold their attention. And then if we leave the room, we're out of the window. So when we ask them to do something, we need to be very clear. The instruction I gave in the window example a minute ago wasn't very clear, right? You need to get ready, you need to clean up, you need to start moving. We want to say, hey, please, right now, put the Legos back into the bin. And then we need to stay there in the window as our child is starting to accomplish the task, to be positive, keep it engaging, keep them having input, knowing they're on the right track. The other thing to remember is that if your child is having an emotion, whether it's big excitement or anger or frustration, that emotion is going to fill and flood the entire window. So if your child is on the verge of a meltdown or having a meltdown, they're not going to be able to use all that additional information to make a decision. They're not going to be thinking about what happened the last time or how is this going to play out. They're just upset. And so they're not going to be very receptive to our attempts to coach them in that moment and ask them to do things and trying to reason with them. They just need some space so that their window can unflood and they'll be ready to re-engage with us. So I hope this concept is useful for you as you think about how to help engage your child and help them stay on task and stay excited about things.